People always think that when somebody is single that he's unhappy, he or she are not so happy, because they love is missing from their lives, romantic love. However, is it so actually much better to be married or in a relationship than being single? Let's find out. um, yeah, I mean there are always pros and cons to everything. I can tell you, I've like been single most of my life, really, most of my adult life anyway. And that's not because well, maybe because I didn't really have such. I do have like certain high demands or correct criterias, to being able to be in a relationship with someone. I think that because I'm not bragging now, but because I am kind of not completely the average guy, the average Joe, I have certain interests that are not really, don't correspond to those of the average Joe anyway. So my criteria is that person that I'm with has to be a little deeper, I mean, when it comes to her uh, her view on simply her view on different things that are important in life, such as religion or science, whatever. I mean, not whatever, but certain things that most people don't really think so deeply about. They are like, I believe in God or I don't believe in God. It's simple as that for them. So for me, it's not so simple. I don't really believe in God, but I do ask questions. Could I be wrong? Could there be something like that? Well, anyway, so sorry. In order for somebody to be with, like, my girlfriend, she has to be very, very open in that way, like, not narrow-minded, the opposite of that. Because sometimes you meet somebody and they are great almost in every way, but there must be a catch. There's always a catch. There's always something that about them that tells you, yeah, they are too good to be true. That they cannot, nobody can be so perfect. So often those people who are like very good looking and charming and even nice and intelligent in a way, they don't really have such a they don't really have such a wide or how do you put understanding, or they are not open. They are not too open for very different opinions from theirs. So I mean, the worst thing about the society today is that so many people say, "Oh, I respect your opinion," but then they go on and on. It sounds like they are actually really like down on your opinion or even making fun of it. But first they just say, "Oh, I respect your opinion, but you are wrong." So that's what I really can't take. So and yeah, well, one thing is that I know the greatest advantages of being single is the freedom. Of course, the freedom is very important. People. I think too many people are you know too quick to dismiss that factor when they are getting tied with somebody. Let's put it that way. Oh, freedom! I mean freedom. I have her or him. Well, and gonna be happy now. And what good is the freedom to me if I'm alone and unhappy? Well, all right. Yeah, that's true to an extent, but also people only think of the romantic factor, when it comes to your life. But your life is made up of so many different things as well. It's not only about love and, family and all that. It's about many other things, many other aspects. So very often people argue who are in a serious relationship or marriage, they very often are argue, get into arguments because they are not free enough. All right, you just can't go wherever you want without, one thing. Another thing, you can't go anywhere, anytime without, getting an approval from your, spouse, or you cannot just watch any kind of program on TV at any time without, there being an argument about it. You just cannot play any kind of music as loud as you like because it may bother you know, your partner. Simply, your partner may not like the music that you like, and that's also one of the worst things when you are with somebody that which with whom you don't have so much in common when it comes to tastes like music and movies and all that. So then you are also forced almost to watch things that she or he likes to watch. Or, of course, today we got all these different apps and channels. So it's not like before when you had only one TV and that was it. That was the god, that was the god of entertainment. Now it's like you have your iPads and all that, and you can watch, everybody can watch whatever they want, but still, it's not the same as watching a movie together, for instance, on TV at night. So it's something that, especially women, you know, really praise. I mean, it's very important to them, or anybody who is a romantic soul. So, but if you are forced to watch some sort of romantic bubblegummy nonsense just because she wants that, and yeah, you are going to suffer, buddy. So that's the big advantage a single person has. He or she can just watch whatever they want, and if they don't like something, they can just switch channel. And no way you are doing that in a marriage or serious relationship without there being consequences. No way, man. So yeah, those are the greatest advantages. As I said, freedom is another thing, of course, and this is something that I have actually read about recently, is that when it comes to, you know, when it comes to your sex life, it says that if once somebody has been over a year, I believe, it's the same person, same partner, the things are not the same anymore. There's not the same excitement usually. There's not the same kind of, chemistry. There's not the same kind of, arousal. So, that's another big advantage a single person has because it can just, change those change partners as it pleases, more or less. Because, and then you don't have to, go through the same thing like, hell, I have to have, sex with her tonight, but I don't feel like it, or she doesn't feel like it, but you want it. Or, you don't have to suffer through all these painful things such as role playing and all that stuff that married people usually do in order to, living up that part of their marriage. So, that's also a major plus about being single. Yeah. So freedom and how do you call it? You're simply not in the same kind of. You're not caught in a pattern, because especially in a marriage, when you have kids, you're caught in a pattern, right? Every day is the same. Every working day is the same. Every weekend is the same. You just cannot go. Just can't say, "Oh, I don't feel. I feel burned out. I gotta go. I gotta travel off to Hawaii or whatever." No way, man. That has to be planned in advance and approved in advance several months, or at least a month. You just can't wake up one day and just like, oh, tomorrow or today I'm going, I don't care. Nobody can stop me. So that's how it works, but when you are in a single or in a non-committing relationship, also there can be, that's almost just as well, just as good as, or maybe even better, being in a non-committing relationship, because that's totally different ballgame now, and then in being a committing one, of course. So yeah, uh, just many, see the pity. I have felt, I thought the same thing myself for a long time until recently. That I just kind of realized, we always think that we are worse off than people who are together with somebody just because we are not. All right, there's another thing I just remember: friendship. All right, serious relationship, and especially marriage, seriously affects your friendship with the people that you are used to hanging out with. I mean, everybody knows this. There's less time to spend with your favorite people, your best friends, because your woman craves now more, of course, a large portion of that time. And of course, in a marriage with kids, you only see your friends, once in a while, actually, every other weekend or so. If you're lucky, I mean, of course, you got bad husbands, bad fathers who are off, drinking and stuff, having fun with their best pals every day almost. But that's something else. That's not a good example, of course. That's not an example you want to use, right? But yeah, friendship really can suffer, and especially if your partner does not care really for your friends, or some of them anyway. There can also be conflicts. Yeah, of course, conflicts between your best friend and your woman. You don't want to, that's some of the worst things that can happen to you, right? It's terrible, but it happens. That has happened, and it does happen still, and it will happen because people are like that. Of course, your best friends also may be reluctant to accept this change with you, that they are no longer as important to you in your life, especially your friends that don't, yet have a wife or a serious, relationship themselves. That's even worse, of course. So, yeah, that all can affect you. I mean, well, I'm not gonna. So as I said, we always think that we are so much worse off than people who have, a partner, or a wife, a husband, whatever. But the truth is, being together with someone doesn't really necessarily imply that it's such a wonderful, glamorous, glorious feeling of being with somebody. Oh, of course, it can be. I'm not suggesting it's not, but mostly, as we know, most relationship kind of go sour after the first year or so. I mean, they don't feel the same. Nothing feels the same anymore. Once there is no more, novelty, once the novelty wears off, many relationships go sour, or boring. But people stay together very often just because they are afraid of being single and alone, and that's also a big mistake, of course. So many people, I believe, are not happy in a relationship or a marriage, even. I will rather stay in it than leave and risk ending up alone and stuff. Because everybody, I think, in the end, is afraid of getting old and being alone. So that stuff like that. Well, that's even. I mean, let's face the truth. For most of us, for at least half people in this world, it's inevitable. So we know we see what's going on now in the world. People dying before their time now of diseases, of war, or whatever. So yeah, it's a sad thing. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, I think I would rather, if I could have been in a relationship, but with somebody that really, was right for me, then yeah, I would rather be in a relationship than being, single. But in the end, what I'm trying to say, people, whoever of you are who are single, should not really feel like you are all, like one of the damned, one of the, cursed, because it's not a curse. It's not a curse being single. It's just usually it's people who are just too nice, too emotional, and they cannot take stuff, the ordeal that is being together with somebody romantically. Being involved with somebody really can, affect you. It can take a part piece of your, soul, and it's really, it's difficult. It's difficult. So no matter how much joy it can bring you, it's difficult still, and it's like work. You gotta work. It's yeah. There's no other thing. I mean, people have to work on themselves as well, to be in a satisfactory relationship very often, because they find out they don't like something about themselves from being together with somebody, because that person might tell them, or they simply might find out that, you know, all right, I think I said enough now. So remember, just, I mean, you must stay positive, and you must appreciate, and value your freedom, definitely. And if there is nobody out there right now that you can see, that you can find, that is feels right for you, then don't try to be in a relationship just to be in a relationship, just to not be single anymore. That is the worst thing actually you can do. So that is actually the worst thing, because you'll end up, just having gone through, an affair that will drain you, simply of, and yeah, make you even more skeptical about being in a relationship in future. So yeah, that's the truth. All right, take care, everybody. Have a good mental health. I wish you that. Bye bye.